Good morning, Big Brother fans. It is Friday, July 23rd. Day more than 14, 15, 16, 17, somewhere in there in Big Brother house. I never look up that number, and then I do it in my head, and I'm not going to do it today. So, this is the start of the third week, the third head of household for Big Brother 23. That head of household is Xavier, after he won the what we call the phone booth quiz that most house guests didn't want to win. It was kind of a not it thing, and as it turned out, most house guests felt that Brent would be the next target. So once Brent was out, it was kind of a rush to the door. Brent was out first, by the way. It was one of the first out. About half the house guests went out in the first question. So shout out to Tom Green, who was the celebrity house guest that Big Brother celebrity house guest that made a reappearance today. That was a surprise. No one saw that coming until about an hour before the show, or a half hour before the show, when they tweeted out a link showing him asking questions about Big Brother in Ottawa. So he didn't show up in the house, obviously, and those of you that watched it know that he just recorded a segment that they used as part of the quiz for the house guests. So Xavier won head of household, and that's a good thing for most people that are watching Big Brother, because the target will be Brent. There's no doubt. It should be either Brent, Brittany, or Whitney leaving this week. And there is that concern that possibly the drama level may end up being low this season, potentially, but it shouldn't be. It should pick up. When they're getting rid of the highly polarizing people. But there are still people there, and more people will develop a polarizing characteristic as there become less and less people. So I have faith that it will still be a very entertaining season, no matter what happens. And frankly, I'm not upset with the people that have gone so far. I would have been fine with Frenchie staying. I don't think he had a snowball's chance of winning the game at this point, but he definitely would have added some unpredictability and craziness to the show if he'd stayed around for another couple of weeks. But that was not to be, and so whatever. So what all happened last night after the feeds came back, which the feeds came back within about 10 minutes of the end of the show. I would love to say, oh good, CBS got the message and they're going to do that from now on, but let's be honest, no. It happened last year too. One week they'd leave the feeds off, the next week they'd bring the feeds back. It runs in cycles, so this week they decided to, as I say, throw us a bone and let us see the feeds afterwards. And then I saw almost immediately someone complained that they weren't talking strategy as soon as the show and as soon as the feeds came back. It's like, dude, we got the feeds back. Stop complaining. They don't talk game all the time, and they have to have a little time to decompress, and they can't talk game when there's a whole group of them together, and Brent's nearby, and Whitney, or Brittany, or even others. I mean, there is a little bit of a, game going on here, so they can't always be discussing who they're going to go after. The things of note that I have actually jotted down quickly as I was getting ready for this morning, and I did watch the live feeds until they ate dinner, so it was till about 10:30-ish Big Brother time. About 1:30 is when I called it quits. Xavier, Kyland, and this is not in chronological order here. These are just some things that I was thinking about as I watched it. Xavier, Kyland, and Derek Frazier, all members of the Outhouse, you might recall, and members of the Butchers, I think they were, which was a subset of the Slaughterhouse. Butchers never gets mentioned on TV, but Butchers was a 5-person subset of the 8-person Slaughterhouse. Frenchie and who was the other person that was in that? Christian, maybe? Was Christian in it? I think maybe Christian was. And then those three. They had a discussion about being a 3-person alliance. So a subset of, really, the Cookout. And that makes sense. I heard other people talking about forming a subset alliance. That is going to start to happen as people get closer and closer to the smaller groups. I mean, I realize we're only 2 weeks in, but there were a lot of bigger alliances formed, and those sub-alliances need to be formed because obviously the big alliance can't last forever. And so I think it was Tiffany might have been saying we need to form a subset of the Royal Flush, which just formed. Now remember, the Royal Flush is, and I did confirm that today, that Derek X is a part of it, even though he's not in the alliance. Even though he's not a member of the Kings and the Queens. It's the Kings and the Queens plus Derek X, I think. Now, I really think they want Hannah to be a part of that too, and she isn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if Derek asked, can we make Hannah a part of it? Because Derek and Hannah are members of the Aces, along with Whitney and Brent. And they basically threw the head of household competition last night knowing that they wouldn't be safe, but they wanted to make sure that Brent was vulnerable to be evicted. Remember that what do I want to say? Well, we'll go to the Derek F and Hannah, or Derek X and Hannah also chatted for about half an hour last night, maybe a little bit longer, right after relatively close to when the feeds came back on. Hannah has expressed interest in Derek, not like, oh my gosh, I could see myself in a showman, but kind of like I have a kind of a crush on him. She said him and someone else, and it may have been Brent that she said she had a crush on. I think that crush is gone. But she did express the potential of having a crush on Derek. I think Derek would be interested in Hannah. I'm not 100% sure. But watching the two of them talk last night, when it was just the two of them, I kept watching for this. Ooh, do they like each other? Are they just kind of talking? I don't have a good read on this stuff. Derek could have just been making pleasantries. I would have guessed that Xavier had some interest in Whitney based on as much time as they spend together talking and kind of cuddling. But Derek may very well put up Whitney this week as a quote pawn against Brent. So I'm not necessarily saying that Derek X is interested in Hannah, but we do know that Hannah had said she kind of saw Derek X as a crush kind of a person that she would be, have a crush on. But that conversation was very interesting. They were talking a lot of game, where things might go, how things might pan out. So it's like, okay, they're potential. I mean, they are teammates, so you expect them to be at least a little bit game friendly and talking game. That was another thing. Tiffany. I got to mention Tiffany too. I got a lot to talk about in this little bit of time. I'm getting relatively close to work. I don't know if I'll do another one of these later today. I may or may not. I'm only working a half day, and then I'm driving to Columbus, Ohio. So I may subject my passenger mates to me talking about Big Brother while I record another one. I'm not sure. But as it goes, let me go back to Derek X and Hannah. So one thing that got mentioned by Derek X, he said to Hannah, when do you think people start forming final twos? Which is a very interesting question to ask someone that you are basically conspiring with to eliminate at least one of the other two members of your team. So, when do people start forming final twos? Which I thought is like, oh, here's the opening, and lots of people thought this. Here's the opening where basically Derek is proposing, opening the door for Hannah to say, I don't know, we can do it now if you want. But Hannah didn't say that. What Hannah said was, I think people wait until after jury. When jury starts, that's when people start doing final twos, which is not really true, but I don't know if Hannah has a final two with anybody. So that may just be her mindset. And Derek is obviously new to Big Brother. He hadn't seen it. So I think it was an offer in a way for Derek to propose a final two to Hannah, but Hannah didn't pick up on it, or Hannah decided she didn't want to have a final two with Derek, or she really thought, I'm waiting until I get to jury. And her point was that a lot of things change from week to week. And so, you don't want to form a final two with someone and then find out the next week that, oh my God, this person is completely unsafe to be in a final with, and here and now I'm stuck in one. Whereas a lot of people's attitude is, if someone offers you a final two, you take it. You don't, you do the Tyler, Big Brother 20 Tyler of you have final twos with everybody, or Big Brother All-Star Tyler, which you have final two with everybody, and that didn't work out very well. So there's two types of thought on that. What is it? Two something of thought. I can't think of the phrase. I hate it when that happens. All right, so that's Derek X and Hannah. That was an interesting watch. You might go back and check it out on Flashback if you can. One thought on the live feeds that pops into my brain is Flashback. Some people have asked me about how do I go back and watch stuff that I missed. If you're only watching it on a mobile device, specifically iOS, you're kind of screwed. You can't really easily do Flashback on an iOS device. If someone knows how to do it, I don't, and I haven't bothered with it. We used to use a special browser called Penguin, and you could or Puffin, and you could do this and that, and I had YouTube videos explaining how to work it. Puffin doesn't work anymore. They changed because of Flash, went away. There's just no way to do it. I think there's maybe a way to do it in Android, but I haven't bothered to try to figure it out at this point. Frankly, I think everybody should still have a laptop when possible in their lives. Of course, if you have a Chrome laptop, that isn't really a laptop. That's an Android device. So, sorry, those of you that... Well, maybe Chrome does it, though, because it's actually Chrome browser. Your Chrome browser is what... it's an add-on to the Chrome browser is what BB Viewer is. But it's still... It is using the web browser is what Flash works... Or is what Flashback works in on the CBS site. And the apps don't have it built into it. I wish you'd do it CBS for the iOS viewers, but Flashback is a tough thing for you guys. You can't even, you used to be able to just scroll back the last 24 hours or back to midnight in iOS, and you can't even do that now. It's annoying. Sorry. I wish they would fix it, because that would make more value, and more people are on mobile and don't have laptops, be it a Mac or a PC. I have a PC. I use it all the time. That's how I watch my flashbacks and stuff. So, anyways, all right. Hannah and DX, yes, so that was that. Next thing, Tiffany, very briefly. Tiffany, this isn't what I was going to say, but this is the other thing. So Tiffany had a moment where she did some cam talking. She was hanging out with, Whitney was talking to her while she was moving some clothes, and she was leaning in on her, and they were laughing and joking, and then she carried some clothes into one of the bedrooms and was putting it away, and she cam talked and basically said, I love Tiffany as a person. I don't trust her in this game. She's out here in the throat slitting thing. She said she hasn't talked game to me at all. She's next, meaning after Brent, she would want to go after Tiffany. So Tiffany is definitely another one who is going to be the next target if it happens. The wild card. So I can't remember. I did not write down who all is eligible to play in the wild card, but Brent is not eligible to play in the wild card because he's already played in it. So right there, Brent has lost one possibility, and so he may be able to save himself with the power of veto. If he does that, again, Whitney and Brittany are the other two names that have been thrown out there. Brittany is more of a pawn. Whitney being another potential target. That's interesting because as much as Xavier and Whitney have been hanging out, but you know what? Xavier has it in him, I think, to make the nominations that he has to make. So I'm not going to be surprised to see Whitney and Brent nominated after this afternoon, after the wild card competition. However that works out. So the wild card competition has been kind of it's not a bomb because it has provided the opportunity for people to save themselves. Obviously, it worked the first week, but last week and this week, it's not going to have any effect. And if Whitney, I don't know if Whitney's played in it or not. Sorry, and I don't remember it. I don't particularly care right now. It doesn't matter this week, really. They were, I think Derek was talking about volunteering to play in the wild card so that he could throw it, so that I think instead of Whitney, because if Whitney won it, she could win safety for her team potentially or something. We don't know what the twist is with the wild card this time, other than it could cause chaos with the nominations. Whatever, okay, whatever happens, the wild card could mess that up. So It's basically a second power of veto almost in some ways. It's a second immunity or a third immunity if you include head of household. It limits the people that can be targeted for the head of household. But right now, Brent is just a big, huge beacon blanking out there, even though he doesn't realize it. He thinks he's safe. Yeah. So, that's that. What else? Do I have anything else? No, I don't have anything else that I can think of other than, again, it's Xavier. He says he's going to do meetings today. I will expect it. He's hoping, I think, to see a lot of people mention Brent, so he can just say, everybody said your name, Brent. Brent will be blindsided, or maybe he'll start to get an inkling today. I'm not sure. Whitney will almost probably be blindsided too. Definitely be blindsided. So it's going to be an interesting head of household today. And I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen to Brent when he realizes the crosshairs are on him. If he's going to go into panic mode, if he's going to blow up. I don't know if Brittany will be a target or not. If they will make an excuse about the reason that, I'm going to put you up because we want to see you do some more. You're just a pawn, but we want to see you do some more rapping. Oh, please, no. That's what I got, guys. I mean, there's more I could talk about, but I'm almost at work, so I'm going to sign off. I will say, I will give a little shout out to myself because I spent some time making it. I did make a video. I was watching last night. The house guests, several house guests were sitting on the couch. It was Xavier and Sarah Beth were sitting next to each other talking. Christian and Alyssa seem to be talking fairly openly about dating and about relationships, like each other almost. And it was kind of like, wow, I guess you guys are being a little bit more open about your kind of flirtmance, your showmance, whatever you want to call it. And then who was sitting in the other house? It was Kyland and I can't remember. We're sitting together, but it was a woman. And then there was Brent sitting by himself. So it was three couples and Brent. And it just immediately, I actually tweeted out, said one of these things is not like the other, which is a Sesame Street thing. And then I thought, ooh, as soon as I did it and I was watching it, all of a sudden, here comes Whitney walking into the room. Whitney walks in, I go, oh, Whitney's going to walk in and sit next to Brent. Oh, wait for it. Oh, no, she sat next to Sarah Beth. So I was like, in my head, I did the Price is Right, womp, 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 womp. And I thought, I can make a video out of this. And so that's what I did. I made a video. And I think I made it too long because I included an extra musical interlude that added like 10 seconds to it. And I think people's attention span wasn't long enough. But it is out there in a couple of my tweets last night. If you go looking for it, you can see my musical rendition of One of These Things Is Not Like the Other, starring Brent and Whitney. And it amused me, so I thought I would share it. So go look for it. If you liked it, retweet it, share it with your friends. I think it could be a hit. That's it, guys. I'm pulling into the garage. Thank you to my patrons. I got a new patron yesterday. Sam. Sam is a new patron. Thank you, Sam, for being a patron. Appreciated. I need to do a grand shout out to all of my patrons again. I tried to do that. I don't know if I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it this tonight. Maybe I'll do it late tonight or tomorrow or something. I'm going to Columbus, Ohio to watch a basketball game, and I will be driving home after two basketball games. So I'll be driving home into the wee hours of the morning. I will probably not be driving. I'm going with my son and his friend, and my son volunteered to drive on the way home, but I may be watching the feeds and stuff. So we'll see if I do a shout out. I may do another late night CarCast. I may do a YouTube live. We'll just have to see what happens. And but shout out to Sam, everybody else as well. If you would like to be a patron of me and all of the different ways I talk about and report on Big Brother, you can go to patreon.com/BBGOSSIP. Patreon.com/BBGOSSIP. And you can sign up at whatever amount you like. It's a monthly charge. It is not a per episode charge or anything, and you can set your amounts. The other ways that you can support me if you want to, you can. If you want to throw some money my way and don't know how to do it, just let me know. DM me or email me at ilovereality.com. I'm not ashamed. I'm not bashful. You can also sign up for the live feeds through BigBrotherGossip.com. Any of those banners will work. I have a pin to my profile on Big Brother Gossip Twitter account. is a link to sign up for the live feeds. You can go to free.bigbrotherlivefeeds.com, as that link will take you directly to CBS, and you can sign up. And once you go to free.bigbrotherlivefeeds.com, it kicks you right over there, and I get a referral for that as long as you actually end up paying for it. If you just do the free trial for a week, no, we get nothing anymore. We used to actually get paid even if you didn't sign up. And then finally, just by listening to the commercials at the end of this CarCast, just listen to those commercials, and I get a little bit of money from Spreaker. So you don't have to do anything other than just to listen to these, and you do send a little tiny bit of money my way, and I appreciate that as well. So with that, I'm out of here. Have a good day, and thanks for listening, folks. Yeah, that's it. See ya. Bye.